So today is the start of a new training week. This week is going to be a little bit different. Normally I'll do 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, and I'll treat my training weeks as 6-day weeks instead of 7. But since we worked the Tour de Bloc into the schedule last second, we're going to do 1 day on, 1 day off, and then 3 days on, 1 day off. So it's the same amount of days. Basically we just move one training day to combine with the other 3. So this is the 1 day on. I had to combine some of the sessions that it normally would have been spread over 2 days. So for this session, we're gonna start with 45 minutes of bouldering, and then we're gonna go straight into 30 minutes of campus. This boulder session ended up being really good, and I felt quite strong. The last boulder session, we only tried 2 boulders and they were pretty hard, and I ended up working them for quite a bit. But I got a good amount of volume in this session of different boulders, especially since it was only 45 minutes. I started on this blue boulder here at the pink tape, and this was a really nice boulder. It was nice and physical. I really enjoyed this style of climbing. You can see I was trying this kind of dynamic sequence in the middle for a while. But then I realized I could do it statically. I kind of wished I had to do it the other way. It was a pretty cool move. But yeah, I started with this boulder, and immediately I just felt so strong. Like the holds are really bad, but I felt like I could grab them really hard. I think after the first week, I definitely was struggling to adjust to the training volume. But even just after a rest day and 1 week of double sessions, I was already starting to feel like, okay, I'm getting back into the swing of things. And I was able to do some boulders with some just hard holds. Next was this crimpy pink tape. I managed to do this one on my first go. And it was nice too, like to just be sending a bunch during the session with the Tour de Bloc coming up in 2 days. I was worried that I might be feeling like a little bit too gassed from all the training to do a comp properly, and I wanted to win this Tour de Bloc because the winners got a golden ticket to an event happening in the summer called Jackalope. So you get your flight paid to this event, and like a few nights at the hotel paid, which was especially like would be awesome for me and Maddie since we'd be coming from Germany, like a free flight from Germany. Definitely want to try and win that. So I was definitely taking this Tour de Bloc pretty seriously. And so next, after those couple physical boulders I did, moved on to some slabs. They had just reset this wall, so we had a couple really nice new looking slabs. I was trying this yellow one, and I got by the finish here when I was just trying the ending. So just when I think I've seen every move that there is in climbing, you know, the setters will always surprise you. Here we have this kind of skate move, like this 1-2 move with the feet, or you have a crimp with your right hand and a thunder cling with the left. And it took me a bunch of tries to figure out how to do this. The feet were super slippery, and I was playing around with the body movement. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And then once I kind of got my hips in closer to the wall and went side to side, I made it work. And then I had some different beta finally to figure out the ending. Maddie flashed this boulder, by the way, which was really impressive. That first move was so low percentage, I can't imagine flashing that. And then next we have pink tape slab. This one was super cool. I think I read it pretty well, and I saw the move that they were going for, and so I was committed to it on my first attempt. But couldn't stick it. And then as I was resting, I looked at it a bit closer and I thought, I bet I could do that move and just keep the foot. So that's what I ended up doing on my second try, and it was super fun. And that wraps up the boulder session. Yeah, this is the last boulder I did. So now we're gonna move into a short campus session, 30 minutes. So for this session, I decided to kind of just pick up where I left off from the last campus session. And I started trying the pinchy boulder that I was forerunning at the end of the last session. I kind of predicted that, like based on what I've figured from when I was trying this last session and could tell by the difficulty, I thought this might just take the full 30 minutes. And so I kind of planned for that. Sometimes I do that, like after you've done enough of this style of training, you can, especially on like a backfill, you can kind of predict, or at least I've realized I can kind of predict for myself how long a boulder is going to take me to do. Of course, I'll like surprise myself every now and then. It could be harder than I think or easier than I think, but I was like, this is probably gonna take me 30 minutes, and it ended up taking about that, like 25 minutes or something. And so yeah, I basically worked this for the whole session. And so since the last couple campus sessions as well, I was trying some kind of crimpy based campus boulders and just finger based. I always want to make sure I get a good balance. So I said, okay, I definitely gotta spend most of my time on this pinchy boulder. And even if I send it quickly, I was going to like try to repeat it a few times. Always gotta make sure you get that balance in your grip types. And so that wrapped up the first session. Short boulder session, short campus session together. Went pretty well, was feeling quite strong and not as tired as before. So later in the day, we had the workout. We're coming off a pretty bad workout last time, a couple days ago. Super tired, didn't feel strong. And this workout as well, we're gonna be going down in sets for the hangs and pinches, and then down in reps for the other strength exercises. So today we have 4 sets of hangs. Still 5 seconds, and I'm still not adding any weight, but like I was super relieved that these hangs felt really good today. Super strong. The same as like the first session, I only failed a rep or 2, I think. And I felt pretty comfortable, night and day compared to the last hangboard session. And pinches today also felt really good. I didn't think that I was quite ready to go up again yet, like since my first session at 65. Usually I try not to make too big of a jump in weight, even if I think I can handle it and I'm feeling strong. So I just went back up from 62.5, I went back up to 65, which I was doing on the first session, and it felt pretty comfortable. And this is something that I do. It's just the way I've always trained, and it's what I feel like works best for me. Maybe it's not necessarily scientifically the best, but I don't try to set like a target weight in my program, especially weeks in advance. I'll usually just kind of use the rep reduction and set reduction as like a tool to increase my weight. So usually like with pinch block or like one arms today, for example, I'll suss out what weight I want to do while I'm warming up. So like I'll just mess around on the pinch block. It's like, okay, I'm feeling pretty strong. Maybe I'll try 70 pounds today. I find I can't really predict weeks in advance where I'm going to be. So yeah, today one arms, we went down to 3 reps instead of 4, and I added 5 pounds as well. And I felt quite strong today. Same with one arm hangs. It felt way better than the last workout. And I think I didn't fail any reps, but I couldn't do them all consecutively. Jump squats, also 3 reps. Everything in this part of the workout is gonna be 3 reps. Especially with these jump squats, since it's not just a rep that you are gonna complete, it's like you wanna make it as good as possible. Like there's subjectivity to how well a rep is done. I'm not quite sure when I wanna increase the weight, maybe when I go down to 2 reps, because I can still make these 40-pound jumps better. Like it's still not quite super explosive looking. So I'm gonna stay with 40 pounds for a little bit longer before I increase the weight. Dips today, they didn't have a fixed dip bar at this gym, so I had to do them on the rings, which like ring dips are much harder for me than with the fixed bar, because just a lot more stability required. So I just stayed at 70 pounds. I didn't go up in weight, even though the reps went down, because the difficulty was added just by the stability. You can see actually I'm not used to it, and I start failing these reps. I think this was actually one of my worst sets as well. I think I failed the next rep too. There were a couple sets I think I got all 3, but they were really hard. But yeah, overall it was a good workout, and relieving that I seemed to be adjusting to the training volume faster than I thought, and I was not as tired as I was in the last workout. So now it's a rest day, and then I'm ready to do the comp. So here we are on comp day. This is Boulder 1 in finals. This boulder was actually pretty hilarious. It's literally just a line of moonboard crimps, and I was super psyched to see this as it's right up my alley. I started off the final round with a flash, and I think I was the first person to top it. So that was already super nice. I didn't get any video from the qualifiers. It was a scramble format, so there were like 50 something boulders where everyone's just kind of going around trying them, and that's kind of awkward to film. I didn't really have someone that I could ask to film me as well. So yeah, no video from the qualifiers, just straight to finals. And it was pretty fun actually. You can see Maddie's climbing next to me here. We both qualified in first, and so we got to climb at the same time, which we haven't done before. That was a lot of fun. And so yeah, here we are on Boulder 2. This one ended up being the hardest of the round. I think, I don't know, actually I never saw the result, like the scores after. I don't know if anybody got zone. I don't end up getting zone here. All my attempts look pretty similar to what the last one was. These two slopers are pretty bad, and I was trying to jump between them. And I realized later after the round that there was some better beta that I could have been doing. And you can see Maddie flashes for a boulder. Makes it look pretty easy. Cool foot first sequence. And I ended up doing a foot first sequence on my boulder as well, but I probably shouldn't have been doing that. So yeah, I had a pretty sizable rest. Waited until like 2 minutes to give it my second attempt. I was feeling pretty strong. Campus into this hold. And the hold that I'm standing on is like kind of bad, kind of okay. So it was like a classic situation in the middle of this move I was doing where I couldn't tell if I was going to try and keep the foot or just commit to jumping between the two holds. And I couldn't make up my mind, and I kept half committing to keeping the foot and trying to hold it. And so, yeah, I wasn't sticking this hold. Then my last try, I thought, maybe the foot is actually holding me back and I should just campus. And I thought it would reduce my swing. But yeah, no, same sort of thing. Just can't hold those two holds. And then I was basically done. I had like 20 seconds left on the clock, but the crowd started cheering for me to give it one more try. So I hop on the wall, and it doesn't go so well. So yeah, 2 boulders down. Now we're on to Boulder 3, the slab. At this point, I've got a flash on Boulder 1, and there are no other tops. So I'm still sitting in the lead, feeling pretty good. And when I came out to this boulder, I could tell the first person out for the men flashed the boulder because he came back to ice it really fast. But then it didn't seem like anyone else was topping, so I was pretty interested. The first person flashed and then no other tops. At least what I was guessing, which ended up to be true. So I was confused what to expect from the difficulty of this boulder. When I was looking at it in preview, it didn't look too bad. Like, you got a couple crimps here, and yeah, you're standing on like a bad volume with your left. But I thought I could just pull on the crimps, and then I'm not too bad at these sort of coordination moves with the hands on the slab. So I didn't think the first move would be too bad. And if anything, I thought the ending was going to be pretty tricky. But what ended up really being hard was this right foot that you're standing on is like this small little hold, and it's like this foot chip that's kind of barely sticking off the wall, and that was actually really hard to stand on, and my foot kept popping off it a lot. And on the left, we can see Maddie conquering her weakness that she's been working on for a long time, past few months, her paddle skills. I think she was the first person to second person to top the boulder, but it was still one of the few tops, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm still struggling on this first move. And another thing that was hard about this boulder is like, I was trying I think 3 different methods, and they all felt doable. So it was like the classic scenario where setters give you a few options, you gotta pick one, and there's no right answer. So you're like, oh, I'm gonna try this a couple of times. No, I've changed my mind. I was trying to jump 2 hands to the hole on the right, tried a couple times, going 1 hand to each, which definitely seems like the intended sequence. And then when time was running down, I realized that the right handhold wasn't as far away as I thought, and I could just kind of reach up to it. This definitely feels like a beta break, because like this volume is supposed to be too bad to stand on, and your foot's supposed to slip, and you shouldn't be able to keep the tension. But I kind of just got lucky. I think it was on this try here. Nope, next one maybe. And I just kind of reached this first hold. It's still quite hard, but yeah, time is running down. I have like 40 seconds or something. I'm kind of just trying to get the zone at this point. And then yeah, I stick this hold here. Slip here, and then there, that crimp I have with my left is the zone. And I think I look back at the clock here, I got like 15 seconds left, and I have to just rush. So now I could feel maybe the wind was potentially slipping away. I wasn't sure about if people were getting zones or not, but I knew it was going to be close. It was going to come down to this last boulder here. On this boulder, I was super excited to try. It looked like my style. Big jump. I like my big jumps. So this is my first attempt. Big swing. And here, you can see that I kicked the wall behind me. And there was a really loud thud. And I knew that Maddie's boulder was right behind me. And for a second, I had a heart attack. And I thought, did I just kick Maddie like in the face and knock her off the wall? And so I looked back for a second, and I could tell she was kind of far away. So I just kept swinging. But yeah, stick jump, first go. Ending felt pretty solid. I was in control, and I managed to flash the boulder. And I was pretty sure that that was good enough for the win. And a golden ticket to the Jackalope event in August in Montreal, which I'll be going to. And I think Maddie just needs to get the zone to secure the win on her boulder here. It's kind of halfway up the wall, you can see. And she doesn't get it on this attempt. Yeah, no. So yeah, I'm kind of sitting on the mat just watching Maddie at this point. She gets all psyched up for her last attempt. Clock's running down, last climber out. I don't think she has a zone yet, actually. So yeah, she needs to get it here to get her golden ticket. And she figures out all her beta. Oh, and this boulder is also moonboard holds. Setters were clearly having a bit of fun with themselves. These are the white pinches and edges. This boulder looks brutal. It looks so exhausting, and just feet cutting around all the time. But she's fighting her way up there, getting close. The wind is already locked up at this point, but last climber out, the crowd wants to see a top. Big last move and foot pop. But yeah, we both skied free flights to Montreal in August.